Ooh-wee. My ninjas. So the question today is God really real? Isn't that the question? The reason why I thought of this video is because I was watching a video on YouTube. I think it was Christians versus Satanists. Very interesting video. And the Christians at one point of the video were asked why they believe in God. And all of them, gave their answers, but all of their answers were very like personal and to I could tell that their answers was not really getting through to the other side of the room, because they were saying things like, oh, he when I was in a really hard time, God showed up in my life and helped me out of the situation, and that's why I know that God's real. And I don't doubt that, like, that could be very true. But at the same time, to a person who doesn't know what you're talking about, that sounds like gibberish. um Another video that I was watching, it was I believe his name is Kevin Wesley, and he was talking to a girl and her friend, and he asked them a similar question. He said, if I was a person from a deserted island and I was in a room full of different religious groups and they were all trying to get me on board with their religion, first of all, why are they wrong? But also, why are you right? Like, why is your religion, your God, the one to follow? And they answered in a very similar way, like, well, I know God's real because God like showed up in my life and showed out, and I believe in Him. But he kind of said, like, well, the Hindu man says that his God did the same thing. The Basically every religion is going to say their God did that, like their God came in at a time where they were down and out and provided for them. So that made me really start thinking, like, how would I answer that question if I was asked that question? And also, is God really real? you know that as we get older, you have to ask those questions. Quick story, a little bit about me. I said this in the last video, but I was born and raised Southern Baptist. I'm talking about church on Wednesday and twice on Sundays, and vacation Bible school over the summer, like heavy in the church. And I think I realized at a young age, like 7 through 10, I realized to a degree, to a level, that the only reason that I believed everything that I believed, or the main reason, was because of my family, is what my family believed, and also just like the place and my environment. Um, After the age of 18, I stopped going to church for a good while, just kind of doing things my way, and lost in the sauce of life a little bit. And only recently have I started looking into the word a little bit again, because because I read the book Thinking in Bets, and it talked about how everything that most of the information we know comes from a messed up game of telephone. Like, our people who care about us, our family, our loved ones, told us something that they heard from somebody else, and the person who told them didn't fact check it, they didn't fact check it, and you didn't fact check it after you heard it. And there's several things that, like, I have remember hearing in the Bible, like money's the root of all evil and stuff like that. And only to find out that the Bible didn't actually say that. It said something like maybe similar, but it got the meaning got lost in translation somewhere along the way. It says, for example, the love of money is the root of all evil, which is very different than money itself being the root of all evil. Um, so that got the wheels turning a little bit, and I started kind of asking myself this question. So I want to go down a few reasons why I believe that God is real. First of all, the first reason that I believe that God is real is, or we're talking about Jesus right now, actually, Jesus specifically, is because of historical evidence that we have, like, here on Earth. like real life can hold in your hand evidence. So what I'm talking about is there are like Roman historians and other historians from that time that had nothing to gain by promoting or talking about God or Jesus. As a matter of fact, they were opposed. They were like enemies of Jesus. Um, but there are like certain texts from Roman historians and other people from that time that is just like actual history. It's like actual history. There's a guy named Metatron on Metatron. Metatron. He has a video called "Is Jesus Historical?" That's a really great video to go watch to get more details on what I'm talking about. But that's one reason, and then also like real evidence of like people like David, King David, and other people like that in the Bible. Um, so that's one reason. Also, when you look at, I don't know if y'all remember astronomy from back in school, but they touched on it very briefly, like, the solar system, stuff like that. If you look deeper into astronomy, um, there's a lot of interesting stuff that you'll find out. So, one thing that I think is interesting is like our sun is a star, and apparently most stars like our sun normally come in pairs. So it's apparently a very rare thing for there only to be one sun like we have. Also, our sun is very chill, if you will, very tame compared to what a star normally does. By in the same amount of time we've been chilling and our sun has been doing what it's doing, just like providing life for us and everything. Normally, the sun would have already turned into a supernova or turned into a black hole by now. That's usually the life. If I recall correctly, that is the life cycle of a star. It either gets bigger and becomes a supernova, or it combusts on it. It falls into itself and becomes a black hole. So the fact that it hasn't done that, also not just that, but the fact that we are the exact distance, like any closer to the sun, any further away from the sun, we wouldn't be able to exist. If gravity was any lower or any higher, we wouldn't exist. If uh, magnetism and the other things that go into making the world and the earth a livable place, if any one of those things was off by a little bit, according to science, people much smarter than me, then the world wouldn't exist. I think they said that we have thousands, we are thousands and thousands more times likely to win the lottery than we are to change one little thing about how the earth is and us to still be alive. So if you think about how much like detail and design goes into like all of this, even like I could really nerd out about this, man, but like even just like the way our bodies work and the brain, and like we don't even understand everything about that. We don't even know what's at the bottom of the ocean and haven't even seen all of space, but we think that like all of this happened from a big bang, like from a random fart in the universe, just randomly just made this. I don't know. To me, Myron Golden said something like, "That's almost like a car factory blowing up, and after the explosion, like a line of brand new cars is in the parking lot from the explosion. Like it blew up and made a whole line of brand new 2026 vehicles. Like that sounds kind of crazy. As a matter of fact, that sounds crazier than there being a God that made it all that we can't see. Like I can more easily believe that there is a God in the sky that we can't see that's making everything than all of this happening out of nowhere. That's almost like getting all of the parts for a shoe and then throw it into a dryer that you put your clothes in, pressing the button, and then you get a brand new, perfectly made pair of Nikes out of that. Like that doesn't even make sense to me. So based off of science, based off of the evidence that we have, like the historical evidence that we have from the time of Jesus and the time of David and people in the Bible. And also, like the other people said, like the times that God has showed up in my life. Like there's been times where there's no logical explanation of how I got out of the crap that I got out of other than there being a God. And I plan on making some story time videos, so I'll share some story times with y'all because woo, the lore goes crazy, bro. And I said the lore, LORE, like the things that I've gone through to even get here is it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, man. I just wanted to make that quick video. I thought that was an interesting topic, and this is gonna perfectly lead into a few other topics that I want to talk about. Also, I think it's important to note that I don't. After reading certain things and learning certain things, I don't consider myself any religion. I don't consider myself Christian, anything. I just consider myself a child of God. So I read the Bible. I do my best to follow God's commands and his laws as much as possible and try to love him with all my heart, have the best relationship with him, and then love my neighbors like I love myself because that's what he told me to do. So thank y'all for watching, man. I will try to be more consistent. I recently got a change in my schedule at work, so I should be able to start putting out videos a little bit more consistently. But I will see y'all next time, and I hope y'all have a blessed rest of your day.